Okay, yeah, then everything's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it.
Can Elephant go over briefly what he thinks the fine-tuning argument is,
Well-
or is that been done already? Because my
well-
understanding is that it's not really.
Oh no. Oh no.
Well, no,
Well,
I
the
mean, like,
fine-tuning-
look, we don't want to give him
Oh my
too
God.
much of a difficult task. Now he somehow thinks that the naturalist explanation that's offered somehow includes within itself this or some gibberish like that. So we need to figure out what the hell he's trying to say. Right? Because
the
like the
fine-tuning-
Trojan
Really?
explained to
Really,
him,
that's
there
that's
is-
gibberish
there's-
to you? When with the gibberish that you presented?
Well, the
Wait, how
fine-tuning
is
argument
how
basically
is-
asks
so let's
why.
let's go step by step. How is the naturalistic explanation worse off than the theistic explanation? What is the theoretical virtue? Don't give us a description of the theories. Give us a theoretical virtue by which yours fare better than the naturalistic explanation.
What kind of explanation was offered? It's unintelligible, and if you
How is it unintelligible?
the term basically, and I think you do, gibberish. You're just telling me that there is a state with a quote-unquote disposition to explain the data. So there
That's
is
all you're
something that
saying.
explains the data. Right?
Yeah,
No,
how
that's
is-
not
how
what I'm
is
saying.
that- how-
That is really
yeah.
not a fair, that is not charitable,
not?
because I've given you a reason which has been overly ignored, right? You're not
given
giving
a-
any
just
kind
so-
of
What's the
a
reason?
hypothesis
Look,
at
you're
all.
given
What is
a-
a hypothesis?
look,
Here's a hypothesis. The data is to be explained.
All
The only kind of reference point you have that it's
Yeah, so
non-intentional.
I'm gonna educate you now. So all a hypothesis is a set of propositions that in conjunction entail whatever the explanandum. Right? That is all a hypothesis is. Now a just so story is a hypothesis that doesn't have any novel predictions. It is just what explains what was already known. Right? Now
Yes.
what you've given us is a just so story. It didn't have any novel predictions. So all we have to do is to offer a set of propositions which in conjunction entails the same observation that you're seeking out to explain. Right. Now,
And-
what you need to do at that point, is not attack the content of the theory, because the content of the theory is only going to be relevant if it affects the theory with respect to some theoretical virtue, making it worse off than your theory. Merely describing the theory doesn't do that. And that's what you've been doing over and over and over and over. And that's what doesn't get into your skull. Merely describing the theory is not sufficient. You have to pick out a theoretical virtue and show how your theory fares better than that. Now, you don't seem to understand that, right? So I'm going to ask you again, by what theoretical virtue is your theory better? Go ahead and answer.
Yes, you have educated me on the fact that a theory is a
Why
set
isn't
of
he? Why aren't you
propositions
answering the
that
question?
explain.
Answer the question.
No, he's
This is not an interrogation, right?
No,
What I've repeatedly told you is that you don't offer a set of.
Just let him ramble on
propositions.
about.
Why not the proposition that there is something that explains the data? That's a proposition. Would explain the data, right?
So what is the theoretical virtue by which your theory is better?
He's not
Okay.
even listening to the
Stop it, man.
He only wants to.
Well, he avoided that question. He
So-
posed another question. 1 second, Elephant Guy. You didn't answer this question.
Sorry, I took care of JJ. Move on.
Wait, what was that, Josh?
I took care of JJ, so move on.
Josh, why don't you take a crack at that?
What the fuck? So
Do you guys
let him
really-
ask his
You gotta-
question.
You gotta pin him down to this thing, because you don't let him move away from this thing. He has to answer by what theoretical virtue's hypothesis is better. He's
Right,
been
rather
avoiding
than
that
answer
question
that
for the last
question-
3 hours.
Okay, because
He
it
asked to
actually posits something that explains.
Both theories entail the explanandum.
You didn't give a theory. You said there may be something. Is that a theory?
No. The theory that was offered was that there is a natural state that is causally disposed to give rise to whatever conditions or whatever fine-tuning or whatever the explanandum was.
That is
And
an
the question
empty
was asked-
promissory note.
Now that's a story. That's a just so story, right? But the question is, how is positing a disembodied mind that has a certain desire to create the universe better by any theoretical virtue?
All right, so start
And
with
all that's being offered is merely a redescription of the two hypotheses. That
So let's
doesn't tell
start
us
with
by
that.
what theoretical virtue is better. So
Let us
by
start
what
with
theoretical?
everything-
No. How about you give us a theoretical virtue by which one is better than the other?
Let's start with
Instead of
every-
dodging the question.
Don't you
wrong with everything
understand
on a
that I'm
neutral-
not dodging the
B3 is
question?
gonna B3 is gonna get muted. Yeah, Elephant, give us the theoretical virtue by which your hypothesis is better. Anything else is gonna be construed as you running away, and that you don't
I
have an
beg
answer. So what is the theoretical virtue?
No, I'm not
Okay, so
gonna
let us
play your
conclude
game here.
that Elephant does not have an answer to the question by
Oh,
what
I can
virtue
talk
is the
about
theistic
theoretical virtues, but I'm
explanation
not gonna do
better.
it. I'm gonna go
Oh, I have an
back
answer,
to a
guys,
theory.
but I don't want to give it.
Can I